Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Monday, September 11. It is 1:59 right now. I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we'll get started with our mentoring session for today. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna cover a couple of things that we have scheduled for today. So it's got a couple of things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, a couple of things here. Looks like we're good. Yeah, I think this is our first mentoring session for the month. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in. And then I will give you guys some updates regarding the community shortly. That's good. This link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Get this link sent out in a few more places. And then you should be good to go. I got one last place to post this up, and we should be good to go. All right, guys. Good afternoon, everybody. Today's Monday, September 11th. It is 2:02 a.m. or 2:02 p.m. right now. Scheduled mentoring sessions for 2 o'clock. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I got a couple of things that I'll be covering for today. I'll try to kind of lay everything out for you guys before we get started. And then we'll cover all those things for today's session. So if there's anything that you guys want me to cover in specific, let me know. I'm pretty sure the stuff that we're covering today will cover, a pretty good handful of whatever questions you guys have, because I'm pretty much covering all the updates with regard to the Discord and then with the new strategies that we're applying. But I'm gonna go ahead and post this in one last place, and we should be good to go. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm here to help you guys out with whatever you guys need help with. But the main things we're going to cover today is going to be the Discord, transition from Telegram to Discord, and then also cover breakout B2 strategy, which I think is going to be everyone's favorite coming up. Why I created the B2, reasons behind why I put that together. Second one's going to be the momentum counter scalp, and then the momentum pullback scalp. Those are pretty much the main strategies we're applying. So that's pretty much all I'm going to be covering. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. We can cover those first. Otherwise, we'll just go through with what we have lined up for today. Hey, Dan, how's it going? You guys are probably gonna hear my MT4 logging off and logging in. It's 2 o'clock right now, so it's turnover. So you're gonna hear that noise in the background. All right, I'm just gonna send this out real quick, guys, and I think we are good to go. All right, perfect. Links are sent out. And I think we are good to go. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a list of like all the stuff we're going to cover today. Let's see. I'll just put it over here. It's easier. Okay. So today's mentoring session topics. All right. So first we're going to cover, I think the main thing will be Discord. So first we'll cover a Discord, Kodi Kai, trades, Discord, community, transition from Telegram. Second, we will cover the breakout V2 strategy. Second, we'll cover the momentum and then lastly, the momentum pullback scalp. Okay, so this is pretty much what I have lined up for today, guys. If there's any other questions that you guys have, or if there's anything in specific that you guys want me to cover, let me know. We haven't had a mentoring session all week. As I mentioned, guys, I'm not going to be holding mentoring sessions every week like I used to. It becomes a lot more work for me to have these mentoring sessions every week if like there's no questions, right? Because I don't want to just keep reiterating the stuff that we're already doing because the strategies aren't that difficult. And I'll show you with the Discord that there's actually going to be an easier way to pretty much help you with the strategies that you guys are struggling with. So I will have mentoring sessions maybe like once a month or once every couple of weeks, but I'm not planning on having them weekly anymore because I do pretty well with just trading, so I don't necessarily look to. I'm just not looking for new people to join our community, right? If people want to join, they're welcome to join, but I'm not necessarily looking out for people to join because as you can see over here, every time new people join and too many people use our strategies, I have to make adjustments to them, and it's just a lot more work on my end versus just focusing on the group that we have here and fine tuning the strategies that we're already working on. So we will we're going to cover this stuff here in this order, and then from there we will answer whatever question that you guys have. Gotcha. Hey Will, how's it going? If there's any questions that you have, Will, feel free to put them in the chat as well. I know you're working on that momentum counter scalp, so we'll cover some examples of that. But I'm pretty sure you have it down for the most part. So hey Maddie, how's it going? All right, guys, if there's any other questions, yeah, man, exactly. If there's any other questions that you guys have regarding any of this stuff, feel free to put them in the chat, and then we'll come up with we'll cover whatever you guys need help with. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I think if there's any questions that pop up as I'm covering them, we can go over that stuff. But I think for the most part, it's not going to be too difficult. A lot of the stuff here is pretty simple, and I'll show you guys a lot of stuff here that's going to help you guys with the strategies. So let's start off with the Discord community. So this is the new Discord community, guys. If you guys haven't joined the Discord yet, I do recommend you guys join it because we are making the transition from Telegram to Discord. The main reason why we're making the transition from Telegram to Discord is because Discord is a lot more organized. As you guys can see over here, I have everything lined up. And instead of having multiple Telegram groups, so you can see over here in our Telegram, we have like so many groups, right? We have the announcements group, the chat group, the premium trade talk group, the public announcements group, the indices group that we don't even use anymore, and the public chat group. So instead of having like 6 different groups here, what we have is just one community here on Discord where we just have everything pretty much organized perfectly. There's only one channel here for the premium, which is going to be the live Zoom links, of course. Everything else, there's one announcements channel. There's one channel here to review pretty much, all the live sessions, all the mentoring sessions, all the live trading sessions, etc. The cool thing with this here is if you guys start, there's kind of an order to follow. So you start here, it pretty much gives you the rundown of everything that's covered. Then you go down lower, you go to introductions. This is where you guys will make your introduction and pretty much meet everybody in the community. I just opened this community a couple days ago, and we have like about 100 people in here so far. So it's pretty good. It's growing. It's not the 1,000 people that we have here in Telegram, but whoever matters will cross over to Discord, of course. Whoever's still active in the group will cross over to Discord, and we'll be using this mainly moving forward. So the good thing about this is that there's an order. You'll start from the top, you'll make your way down. When I get questions, I will update the FAQs. Just with whatever questions that we get, the more questions that we get at the same, like over and over again, I'll add them here to the FAQs. And then you guys can just go here and look for the specific answer that you're looking for. Going down to strategies here, I pretty much posted all the strategies that we're currently applying mainly, which would be the momentum pullback scalp, and then all the indicators up here. So if you guys ever want to like watch videos explaining, what each indicator does, how to use TradingView, how to use MT4, how to use this, any indicator or any strategy really, these videos here are going to provide you with an explanation. So if you go to the top over here, we have a playlist, and if you click on that, it'll pretty much bring you to all the videos. There's other places where you can find these videos, but this is going to be a quicker way to just find everything versus going to the website, which you can go to the website as well. Website is probably going to be the best resource, but for a lot of people, they don't want to go pull up the website. They just want to look it up directly on the Discord. So if you go to the website, everything's organized here as well. But the Discord is just like an in-between from the website and just basically going through the community. So going down further, we have the strategies here. We have the announcement channel, sessions, live trading sessions, mentoring sessions, results. Scrolling down further, if you go down to profits over here, the official profits tab is going to show all of my profits. So it's going to have the markup pretty much for the trade that we took. Like for example, this trade we took here. And then it's going to have my profits reflecting that trade. So if you guys want to go back and review, where did I make those profits from? You can just go back to this channel here. Like for example, today we took one trade, right? Which was the breakout V2 entry. This one right here, went straight to TP, no drawdown. And you guys can see exactly what profits came from that there. I just realized I didn't even copy over my entire set. So these are all my profits from today. For the day, the week, I only took one trade this week. So day and week are going to be the same right now. For the month, it's going to be all my profits for the month. So if you guys ever want to see, like, for example, I posted my profits here. You're like, oh, how did Sean make this profit, right? You just scroll up and it has the trade right there directly. And I typically have a description explaining what strategy was taken, which was the breakout V2. So this is the official profits channel. And then this is a team profits channel. So the profits channel below it is going to show profits from everybody in the group. So if you want to see, what did certain people lock in profit for today, you can just go to this channel. And then from this channel right here, you can see what people locked in. So you just look at the date. So for example, today, September 11, you can see Vince here locked in 505. You can see Kenny here locked in 940, Jonathan locked in 723, etc. Right? Everything's gonna be lined up here. So whenever you guys have profits to share, you can post them here. And if you ever are curious, like what did people lock in on a certain day, you can just go back and look. Because everybody's profits are going to be posted here, and they're going to be here for pretty much forever, basically. So if you guys ever want to go back and look, you guys can go there and take a look whenever you guys want to. So that's that. This is going to be the most important one, I think, for a lot of you guys. So if you go down a little further, it's called Trading Journal. For this right here, I haven't updated it yet. I just updated it with the so basically on the spreadsheet right here, if you go to this channel that says 2023 official live trades, if you click on this Google Doc right here, I'm going to be updating this, and I'm going to be documenting every single trade that we take during the live session. So it has every trade here in January. I'm going to knock out February, maybe later today, with March, April, May, June, July, etc. And it's going to have all the trades locked in here. The thing about this that is very beneficial for everybody here is that you guys are going to see exactly which strategy we apply during that certain time. You guys will know what to apply for the next year, right? So I think this is going to be a big game changer for us in 2024, because I'll have all the 2023 trades marked up here. And then say next year starts in this January 2024, right? We can just pull this up and we can see what strategies we're working around this time. And we can see what TPs we were using so that we know what TPs to use, right? Do you want to go for 100? You want to go for 250? You want to go for 1,000, 500, etc. This is going to be beneficial for all of us, because instead of having to think, okay, what strategy should I apply? Should I be taking the momentum pullback scalp? Should I be taking pivot scalp? Should I be taking breakouts, right? We're going to have all the data here. So you can just literally pull up this document and you'll say, okay, Sean is using this strategy on this date, and he won like, 23 wins and 3 losses. Okay, maybe we should stick to these strategies here, right? You guys can see the profits that were locked in during that month. So this is going to be super beneficial moving forward. This is pretty much all the live trades. If you scroll down lower on the Discord, we have the breakout V2. This is what we took today. If you pull that up right here, I'll be updating this daily as well. You can see that from August 14th up until today, September 11th, we had 15 wins, 6 losses, total win rate of 71.43%. And then you can see that we've been on a winning streak since September 1st. Basically, the entire month of September, there's been nothing but wins. Applying the strategy. And then I'll put the requirements on top. So again, this is another thing. If you guys are confused with the requirements, just pull up the spreadsheet and the requirements will be updated here. It'll have the most recent requirements if anything's been changed, and you guys can find pretty much everything right here. So the breakouts right there. You can scroll down one more. Here is the momentum counter scalp. Same thing, spreadsheet right here. You guys can see for this strategy here, we've had 15 wins and 3 losses, total win-loss ratio of 83.33%. Typically, I'll put notes here if there's anything wrong. Like for example, today we had a trade that came up, but I didn't take it because volatility was low at the time of entry. It was currently 14 ATR. So this is going to be pretty much, useful for, anyone here that needs help with identifying, what the criteria is and what strategies you guys are looking at. So I just have data for a couple of things. I have data for the breakout V2 because that's what I'm testing, and then the momentum counter scalp. Also, on top of that, we're going to have the live trades. So the trading journal is going to be super useful to everybody here. Doesn't matter if you're part of the group, not part of the group. This will help you understand, how volatility is during certain times of the year, and what strategies work best. Lila, I saw your question earlier. I think you deleted it. So are you still looking for the Zoom link? Sorry, I saw your question and I was about to respond, but I just want to finish what I was explaining. So if you need the link, Lila, you can go on the Telegram. Here, I'll just post it up here again. So let me post this up right here. And I will tag you in it, Lila, so that you can get it. I forget what your username is on here, Lila. Are you on here? I mean, you should be. I don't know what your username is. I'll put the link over here too. Okay. Got it. So I think you might be on here already. I think I saw your name on there, or yeah, I think you're already on the Zoom, on the Discord. I remember seeing your username on here somewhere. Oh yeah, you're right there. Yeah, you're good, Lila. You're already on here, so you should be solid. All right. So other than that, let's keep going down the Zoom. So we have the trading journal right here. As I mentioned, this is like going to be probably the most important resource for you guys. As I mentioned, I'll be updating this over the next couple of weeks. It shouldn't take too long because we only have a couple months here. I can probably knock out 1 month per day, if not a couple months per day. Next step, going down to community, we have the team chat here. The team chat prior, we had them split up between like premium and public. Now we just have one team chat here. So, whoever wants to talk can talk. Just make sure to be like, don't try to cause a ruckus, guys. Because if you guys already know, if you guys start to like, and I don't think it should be a problem because we haven't had this problem in a while, but if you guys are part of K2, around COVID time, sometimes people will be talking like way too much in the group, which is not a big deal, but only if it's like relevant, right? Because sometimes like you'll be in the team chat and then you'll have like a bunch of messages and you'll find the specific question that you're looking for. So I've split these up. We have a team chat and then we have a trade questions chat. So if you have any questions regarding, trading, put them in here and I'll answer them or somebody else in the group will answer them. If you just want to talk and just talk amongst everybody, just go in the chat. So we have these separated right here just so that there's no questions that are getting lost. And then we also added another one here. So this one right here is funding broker. So if you guys have any funding questions or broker questions, you can put them here and I can answer them or somebody else in the group can answer them, depending on who has experience using, that funding company or broker. And then lastly, we have suggestions here. So if there's anything that you guys want me to add or change from the Discord, feel free to put whatever questions you guys have here. I think it's open to everybody. Yeah. So everyone can pretty much talk in there. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys want me to add or remove or adjust, just push your questions in here. Lastly, down below, we have another think tank group right here. This is only open to people who are within think tank. Once you get to that level where I think you're going to be very beneficial to the community, or not even the community in general, but just like to this is like my main circle of traders. Within the think tank, there's only a couple people in here right now. It's me, Maddie, Gian, Kip, Casey, and Sisu. You guys know these people, right? These people are pretty obvious. They're the people who post profits every day, people who are consistent, people who help me develop the strategies. We're going to start opening this group. So we have another group channel right here, which says prospects. So people in the group who either get referred or people we vote on them to join the think tank, you can move into prospects. And then from there, we'll see if you continue to stay consistent and then you can move on from there. Because basically, if you get into the think tank group, you're almost guaranteed to be a successful trader. There's like no question about it, right? Because you're working with me directly and you're working with the best traders in our community. There's a couple of people who are going to be added in here already. We have a couple of people lined up already, so they're going to be added to there. But it's pretty much open to everybody. So the more that you guys participate in the community, the more that people in the think tank will start to notice you and they'll vouch for you to be added to the prospects of think tank. So just a heads up, guys. If you guys want to join that, you don't have to, but you're basically guaranteeing your success trading if you get put into the think tank, because you're going to be working with me directly. I'll be showing you stuff that I'm looking at or anything new that we're working on. You'll know first, obviously. You're basically going to be admin of the group at that point. So I think that's it for the Discord. Do you guys have any questions regarding the Discord? If there's anything else that I missed or anything that you want me to cover, let me know. I'm still figuring out how to use Discord, so bear with me. It's going to be a while for me to like really have everything down, but I think I'll be able to get everything down within the next couple of weeks. I'm watching a ton of videos every single day, just getting up to speed and figuring out how to do everything on here. But that's pretty much it for the Discord, guys. If there's anything that you guys want me to change, feel free to let me know. But for now, I think this is pretty much it. But yeah, if you guys haven't looked at the trade journal yet, I'd highly recommend you look at it, because this will be updated pretty much every day as we take trades and as we get more data in. This data is going to be so useful moving forward. So definitely look forward to building off this that we already have. All right, so there goes the first part of our mentoring session topics. So we pretty much covered the Discord community. All right, let me see. So Maria is asking regarding the breakout V2 strategy. Prior momentum was green. The 630 candle might count as the first candle. Yes, that is correct, Maria. So the first candle counts as the as one of the candles. So let's see, Maria sent me a screenshot here. Yeah, so that's one that we took today. So I'll go over the strategy right now for that, Maria. And then if you guys have any more questions regarding the V2, the breakout V2, let me know. Try not to get the breakout V2 and breakout 2.0 confused, guys, because those are different strategies. The breakout 2.0 is something that I kind of brought up a couple months ago. It still works fine. Not a couple months ago. I brought this up in January. So you guys can see from the data over here, we applied the breakout 2.0, and it was nice to apply it and take a full 1,500 pips. The problem with this is that volatility died down, so we couldn't really take these types of moves anymore, right? I mean, this might be something we can bring back once volatility picks back up, but right now I think breakout V2 is going to be better than 2.0 because I can just make adjustments to the V2 with regard to TP stop loss. So let's go over some examples here regarding the breakout V2. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to copy the requirements for the breakout V2. So again, this is like why it's so useful to have this here, because you can just pull up my spreadsheet and then you have all of my requirements, set up there already. So let's see for this right here. Let's go back to market open. 1 minute. So market open right here at 6:30, right? Let me put up the requirements for the strategy. This is going to be breakout V2 strategy. It's not really that difficult. It's pretty simple. Let me go and just save that there. Okay, so the strategy is extremely simple. For the breakout V2, first you want to identify the direction of momentum, basically before or after 6:30. So market opens right here at 6:30. Let's go back to 6:30. Right here, 6:30, right? So basically what you're looking for is you're looking for where momentum's sitting, because momentum can come up before, it can come up on the candle, it can come up after the candle. Doesn't really matter where, right? So for example, right here, market open at 6:30, you want to identify the direction of momentum. You can see that there's a buy signal right here. So this is going to confirm that there is bullish momentum here, right? That's basically what you're looking for. You just want to look for a direction to trade it. So once you confirm the direction, now you want to identify two back-to-back candles in the direction of momentum. So this strategy happens after 6:30, just like what Maria just asked right now. She was asking, does the 6:30 candle count? So we had a buy signal here and we have a green candle, right? This counts as the first green candle that you're looking for. So first step, look for momentum, green momentum right there. Second step, look for two back-to-back green candles in the direction of momentum. This happens after market open because it's after 6:30. 6:30 is right here, one green candle. 6:31 is right here. Now you have two green candles, right? That's requirement 2. This strategy is extremely simple. You look for momentum, you look for two following candles in that same direction. Once you have that set up right there, you take a long position for 250 pips. It's just a one-on-one strategy. This is what we took today. And then you can see over here on the note, it says momentum signal candle does not count as one of the back-to-back candles. So I'll look at another example before this, because we'll have another example that kind of explains how that works, but it doesn't play out here because the momentum already played out pre-market. So we got a buy signal here. You got two green candles, you insert for 250 pip push. You let it run. And it goes straight to full TP right there. This trade is a win or loss strategy. So like there's no cutting out early. There's no pulling out early or cutting out early. You got to let the trade play. It's either going to hit your TP or it's going to hit your stop loss. From our data here, it has a pretty decent win rate. So this is the type of strategy that you can just keep taking them and letting them run. So with that said, this is the entry that we took right here. That's the entry we took this morning. And that's how I locked in these profits over here. So you can see over here from that one trade, I locked in 2,150 on my funded engineer 200K account, my FTMO number 1 account 2,160. I locked in 2,160 on my second FTMO. This is my 200K FTMO locked in 4,220. Here is my funded engineer 100K account, total profit of 970. Personal account 687. My TFFs locked in 2,100 and my second TFF 2,100 as well. So that's the strategy we took this morning. If there's any questions regarding this, guys, let me know. I'm going to move on to the previous example from the day before. And if there's any more questions from there, then we'll answer them. Otherwise, we'll move on to the next topic. So Friday over here, we took the entry as well. Or actually missed the entry, but the entry did come up. I was answering questions. So that's why we have that rule, right? On answering our questions until, after. But anyways, let me go over here. I'm just going to look for the entry. I can just eyeball it. Looking for 2 green candles. We don't see any. 2 red candles. I don't see any. 2 green candles. I don't see any. 2 red candles. Which is right there. Okay. So let me go and put the criteria back up. Breakout V2. Let me zoom in a little bit. The market was kind of rangy on this day. So I'm going to put a line at 630. All right, so I'm just going to go back to 630 and we'll look at the criteria. So I'll show you why certain entries did not come up. So looking at this right here, first criteria, look at the direction of momentum. So identify direction of momentum. We have a buy signal right here, right? 630 is right here. So you have 1 green candle. You need a second back-to-back green candle in order to take this entry. There's no green candle there. There's 1 green candle there, so you need another green candle. No green candle there. No green candle. There's 1 green candle. No green candle. Here is 1 green candle. No green candle. You need 2 back-to-back. No green candle. All right, right here we have a red momentum signal, right? At this point, now you need 2 red candles to confirm the entry. Green candle, there's no red candle. No red candle. Now we have a buy signal. Now we need 2 green candles. 1 green candle. Now we have a red signal over here. Now we're looking for 2 red candles. So going back to this criteria over here, this is the example that I was looking for. As you can see from the note, it says momentum signal candle does not count as one of the back-to-back candles. It must happen after the signal. So right here, we have a red candle with a red signal. This doesn't count because this is a signal candle. You need 2 red candles after. So momentum signal, this is the first red candle. That's a green candle. That's a green candle. That's a red candle. And there goes another red candle right there, right? So this is pretty much the strategy. Identify direction of momentum before or after 630. There's a red sell signal right here. Identify 2 back-to-back candles in the direction of momentum. Red signal right here for a sell. 2 red candles right there. This meets criteria. You enter for a short position right there. You go for 250 pips or 25 points. You let the trade run. And you can see right there, it hits TP. Let's go back to it. So it goes right to TP with little to no drawdown. And that goes in, there goes another example of a breakout V2. So as you guys can see, it's super simple. You're just looking for a pattern right there. You're basically looking for a continuation in the direction of momentum. So if there's any questions regarding this, guys, let me know. Otherwise, okay, 1 question from Maria. She wants us to go back to August 29. Sure, let's go to the 29. They're almost there. I go back a bit. All right. August 29th. Right here. All right, August 29th. So market opened right here at $630. All right, so market opened right here at 630. All right, we had a bullish green momentum right here, right? So we have a green bullish momentum. We have the first candle right here, which is green. Next candle is green. So this is going to be the entry right here. And the same thing, 25, 25. Trade runs. And this right here doesn't play out. So this one hits stop loss. Is there anything specific that you're looking for right there, Maria, or does that kind of answer? Or I don't know what you're looking for here, but yeah, this is like one of the losses that happened. So we had a green momentum right here. 630 was right here, 2 green candles, and your entry would have happened right there. It looks like it barely hit stop loss and then it came right back up. So the entry actually would have happened right here on this open of this red candle, because obviously it looks like the volatility was very high, kind of just spiked around a bit. So looking at this right here, entry happened right there. Price unfortunately went down. It barely tipped stop loss, and then it went straight up to TP. I mean, this happens sometimes. I don't know if there was anything else that was going on that day, but I'm not really using any other factors here. I'm just taking the trade as it comes. So yeah, is there anything specific that you were confused about, Maria, about that entry, or you just wanted to see me like draw it up? Because if there's something specific, I can help you with it, but not sure if there's anything that you were confused about. Dan's asking, hey, Sean, what time is the latest you take a breakout V2? So the breakout V2 happens every day. So there's no specific latest time, because it's going to happen eventually. It usually happens between like 6:30 and 7 though. So if you look at the data over here, Dan, all the entries pretty much come up like within the first couple minutes, like either the first couple minutes or within the first 10 minutes or so. So I think the latest that it came up would be right here at 6:47. So Tuesday, August 15th came up at 6:47. It's still one, even though it came up kind of late. And again, right here on September 4th, it came kind of late, but let's take a look. So this is also a good thing about these spreadsheets, is if you're curious, if you wonder like, okay, where did the entry come out from, right? You just go over here and I have my markup right here. You just click on that and you guys can see my literal trade that came up. So this one came up pretty late, but it still played out perfect, like pretty decent. It went straight to TP with no drawdown. And then also right here on the 4th, same thing. So you guys can see how useful these spreadsheets are, right? Because it literally shows you the trade. So you can see over here, Dan, this trade took forever to hit, but it still hit. I mean, it literally took forever. This trade took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 candles, basically 16 minutes until it hit TP, but it still hit. So there's not really a latest time to take the V2, because it's going to happen either way. Like regardless, it's going to come up. It might happen right away, it might happen later, but it's going to come up. So it's either going to come up and hit your TP, or it's going to come up and hit your stop loss. But for the most part, it's just one of those strategies that, and I think that's what makes the strategy so lucrative, is that it happens every day. There's no days where you're like, okay, I'm not going to take the entry. It doesn't matter if it's like NFP or there's some news event or whatever is happening. You're still going to take the trade, and you're going to either take it as a win or you're going to take it as a loss. So it's super helpful to have this data here, because this data is going to keep updating every day, and you'll see the win rate change, whether it goes up, whether it goes down, and we'll have all the data here. So right now with the testing, I'm just going to have these marked up until we start another month. So basically I have August and September kind of bunched up together, and then when we start October, I'll just start another one. And then we'll just keep going from there. But at that point, this will probably just be part of the live trade, because it's going to be one of the live trades I'm taking. Yeah, no, definitely. Dan said, cool, cheers. I've joined Discord just now, so those spreadsheets will be handy. Yeah, no, definitely, Dan. If you're ever curious about what entry you took on a certain day, you can just click on it and see what's there. I'll typically put notes here if there's like something going on, but from our analysis here, this is like one of those types of strategies that you kind of just take no matter what. So yeah, I mean, we'll see where this ends up going the next couple months or so, but I think this will probably be pretty good. If anything, we're just going to change the TP stop loss. Right now it's at 25. So if the volatility picks up a little bit, we'll change it to 30, picks up more, 35, 40, 45, 50, etc., until we need to go up to like 1,000 or even 1,500. It just depends on the market. So I think the strategy will be pretty good long term. So let's see. Maria said, no, I was looking for a momentum signal in the 630 candle. Gotcha, Maria. So let me go back to the chart over here. Yeah, so there's no moment, like the momentum can be before or it can be on or after. So it can be, so going back to 630 over here, it can be either on the candle, on open, or it can be the candle before. So if we have a green momentum here, just looking for 2 green candles. But then if you have a momentum here, then you're just looking for the candles after it. So I think this strategy is pretty simple, guys. I don't think there's really much guesswork here. I've tried to make it as objective as possible. I know a lot of you guys like to apply the original breakout, but the problem with the original breakout is that it was so subjective, because you'd have to figure out and understand whether it was a strong candle or not. And that kind of confused people a lot. So like now, you don't even have to look for that. You're just looking for a specific candle in that direction. So it kind of makes all the difference now that we have this, this criteria lined up. Let's see, Marston's asking breakout V2 entry we take on close of the second back-to-back candle closure. Yes, that is correct, Marston. That's exactly how it's done. So again, if you guys ever want to see any examples, just pull up the the Discord and go to the spreadsheet. And then from the spreadsheet, you can see every entry here because it has the examples of like all that stuff there, Marston. So yeah, no, you're fine. But yeah, if you ever want to go back, because I have all the trades documented here from every day. So like, for example, if you look back here and you're kind of curious, sometimes you're just curious and you just want to know, you'll see here that there's 2 back-to-back green candles. You're like, okay, you enter on the close of that candle. Or if you want to go back and look at, say, like the entry on, I don't know, August 15th, right? You go over here and you're like, okay, red momentum signal, 2 red candles, entry happened right there. So yeah, I think this is going to help you guys really think on your own, which I think is better. Because if I tell you exactly like what to look for, it's going to be hard because you're not really going to think about it. But if you're actually analyzing it yourself and identifying where things line up, then it's going to help you guys understand it a lot better. So yeah, no problem, Marston. If there's any other questions regarding the breakout V2, guys, put them in the chat now. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the next topic, which will be the momentum counter scalp strategy. Chase is asking, what brokers are you using besides FTMO? So Chase, are you talking about brokers or fund companies? Because those are completely different. Because for brokers, I'm just using Hero FX. So that's kind of different. I mean, you can kind of use whatever broker you want, right? It's not too difficult to find a broker. But if you're talking about funding companies, that's a different story. Because not all funding companies are like compatible with scalping. Okay, so yeah, I figured that was your question. So yeah, for my personal broker, I'm using Hero FX. I'm still new to them. I just been using them for a couple of weeks, so I can't really I can't recommend them to you guys. For funding companies, I'm testing 2 funding companies right now. So I'm in a challenge phase with Funded Engineer. So let me see. This is my Funded Engineer account. They're pretty solid. I mean, they're decent. They're not, the lot sizing is different with them. So you got to understand how to use lot sizing. So you can see over here on my Funded Engineer, I locked in, or I was taking, this is a 200K account. So you can see that the lot sizing is like super different. It's a 20 lot and I locked in 2000, but this is my 200K account. And they have a lot size cap on Funded Engineer. So you might want to just go for the 100K account with them if you decide to use it. So this is my 200K with Funded Engineer. And then this is my 100K. So basically half of that profit. I just got to take it slower because they have a lot size cap on it. And I can't take like the full lot size that I would like. But I mean, it still works. It's fine. I'm still winning. So I'm just going to keep adding up those profits and then let them, eventually get to that funded phase. So I'm using Funded Engineer. That's one of them. They're a company based out of Dubai. I only use them because a couple of our people in the group, like Patricia, recommended them to me, and she's trustworthy. So I'm giving them a shot. And then the other one that I'm using is TFF. I can't really recommend TFF yet. Let me get funded and get some payouts. I didn't even realize they had a cap size on their lot size. So I have a 200K account here, unfortunately. And I ended up, I'm capped at 100 lots, which sucks because it's going to take me forever to get funded on that account since it's not the same. So I'm using TFF and I'm using Funded Engineer. I can't recommend either of them. If you haven't maxed out your FTMO, guys, again, there's no reason for you to try anything else. So make sure that you've gotten your max allocation on FTMO first. The funding company is not going to make you guys. So just keep that in mind. Like, I feel like everyone's looking for that golden funding company that they think just because they do this funding company, they're going to get funded and they're going to make all this money. But if you guys can't pass FTMO, you're not going to have much luck doing any other ones, guys. So I just want to make that clear to you guys, because I feel like a lot of people are looking for a specific funding company that they think they'll pass with. FTMO is the best option, guys. So yeah, Chase, just to answer your question, I'm using Funded Engineer. I'm in the challenge phase right now. I should probably be passing these hopefully by next week, if not the week after. And then TFF. I've had bad experiences with TFF, but my options are limited right now because MFF kind of screwed me. So, I'm curious because their lawsuit happened today. There's no update on the website, so MFF is still screwed. So ever since MFF kind of went down, I'm trying to figure out alternatives for funding companies, but I'm also using my personal account. So a lot of these profits from my FTMO, they're just getting transferred over to my personal account. So you'll start to see bigger profits on my personal account as well. I'm probably making like about 1,000 a day, 600 to 1,000 a day on my personal account. You can see right here, I locked in 687. And then the day before that, I locked in 228. And the day before that, locked in like 100 something. So you'll start to see my personal account lock in more profits because I'm depositing more money into the account. I can't really rely on these funding companies as much. I mean, I milked them for what they were worth, but moving forward, I'm probably going to focus more on my personal account versus, these funding companies. I'm just going to keep milking them. I'm going to get as many withdrawals and payouts as I can get, and then I'm going to move a lot of that stuff back to my personal account. So let's see. Case is asking, how much do we need for a personal account trading your strategy? I mean, it doesn't really matter. It matters on how much you're expecting to make. Like, how much are you planning on making, Chase? Because you can't make $1,000 trading a $100 account, right? We're taking scalps here. So a good rule of thumb is going to be like 1 to 3% of your account. So like right now I'm making about 600, right? I have about like close to 10,000 in the account. So not a lot. It's a small account. Martha, that answers your question. So Martha's asking, how much did you start your personal account with? I don't have a specific number, but it's like around 10,000. So like, for example, here, I'm doing 10,000 or I have about 1,000. So Chase wants to make 1,000 a day. If you're doing 1% of 1,000, what's that, right? So 1% of that times 1,000, or no, my math sucks. Anyways, if you want to do, you're going to need like about, you need like 100K if you're doing 1%, unless you're going to take more risk, of course. If you're going to take more, you can take more risk on the account. Just understand that your deposit can just disappear if you make a mistake. So if you want to make 1,000 a day and you want to be conservative, you got to have a 100K account, right? You're not going to be able to, like, let's be realistic here. If you're trading I mean, it just depends because I'm not you, Chase. If it was me, I could make 1,000 on a $10,000 account because I can risk 10%, right? Because I trust the strategy. For you, I can't say the same for you because you don't even know the strategy, right? You don't know like I do. And you're probably not going to trust it. You're not going to let the trade run. So for me, if you're asking me personally, I can make 1,000 on a $10,000 account because I could risk 10% and be okay with it. For you, I can't really say. So if you're doing things a proper way, you should have at least 100K in the account because you're going for a 1% gain, right? So, if you have a 100K account and you're going for 1%, which is 1,000, like you said, that's to properly grow the account. If you're just trying to flip the account, which is possible, you're going to have to risk more. So I think if you're trading on, well, I don't know about Hero FX, but basically any offshore broker, they give you either 1 to 500 leverage or 1 to 1,000 leverage. Depends on your whatever broker you're using, right? So you want to make 1,000 a day, and you want to do max leverage. I think max leverage for any broker really is going to be like 20%. I think that I can't say for sure, but that's not to do it the proper way. So if you're looking to flip your account, you can do like 10 to 20% a day, but you might get margin called. So you have to keep that in mind. You can't be taking like crazy, like you can't be flipping an account and expect to not get margin called if you go into drawdown and you don't pull out when you're supposed to. Because that's the thing. A lot of people, they'll try to flip like $1,000 account or $100 account and make $1,000 a day. But you got to think about it. You're losing $1,000 a day. So you have an opportunity to make 1,000 or to lose 1,000, right? So if you have a $10,000 account and you lose $1,000 and you lose another $1,000, you're down to 8,000. Your leverage goes down. Well, not your leverage, but your margin goes down dramatically at that point. So, I mean, it's up to whatever you want to do, Chase. I mean, you can use whatever accounts, like whatever deposits you want, but if you don't have a certain amount of money, you shouldn't be expecting to make that much money, right? So you can't expect to make 1,000 a day with $1,000 account. That's like literally impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but odds of you doing that are going to be very unlikely because you're going to be reaching your margin limit almost every day if you're going to be trading that way. So you just got to base everything on percentages. Does that make sense, Chase? Because I don't know if you're actually getting this or if this is just going in one ear out the other. There's different ways to it depends if you want to do it the proper way or if you want to do it the risky way. If you're a gambler, yeah, if you can trade on a high leverage account and you can probably go in with like a couple of $1,000 and you'll be fine. But odds of you getting margin called out, like getting pulled out of your trade early, are very likely. Yeah, no problem, Chase. But yeah, if you want to do things proper, 100K is going to be the case because you want to risk 1%. But it's possible to do it with, yeah, Chase said he's a gambler. Yeah, if you're trading with you can do it 10K. So I'm gonna be straight up with you. I have 10K in this account, right? This is how much profit I made. I don't have a lot in this account, but I'm a gambler. Well, I'm not really a gambler, but I'm more so. I take educated guesses to sound more proper. But yeah, you can do a 10K, Chase. If you're using Hero FX and you use the max leverage, you can do a 10K because I'm using it. This is a 10K account right here. But the thing is, I don't want to tell people to use a 10K account and then do this, and then they get upset when they blow their account, right? Because they get margin called out. So, I mean, you sound like you already know the deal, Chase. So you can do it to 10K. If you know what's going on and you know how to do it. I use Hero FX on MT5. You can make it work. It'll work for a 10K account, but I'm not going to recommend people to do that, especially not a new trader. I'm assuming you're not. Well, I don't know if you're the same Chase because there's a bunch of Chases in here, but if you're the same Chase that I've known in the YouTube for a while, then I think you're solid. You can do a 10K. But for other people, like Martha, I wouldn't recommend you do it, Martha, because you're just like, it's not that you're not there, but I know your trading personality and I don't want you to go and like blow your account, like making a small mistake, right? I would, for you, I'd recommend that you just do a funding company and stay on there until you're consistent. And then you can start depositing your funds into a personal account because you can make a lot more that way versus, going to a personal account and then risking it all on some risky trades. So I'm always going to look out for you guys. I'm going to give you guys the best possible route as possible. And it depends on how I know you personally. If I know you personally and I know how your trading habits are, then I'm going to point you towards either a funding company or I'll point you towards a personal account. I can do both because I just use a copier. Chase is asking to use copiers with your personal account. Yeah, this is my copier right here. My personal account's right here, where I locked in 675. So this is my copier, and Hero FX works fine with my copier right here. So you can see this is my funded engineer, FTMO, 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 funded engineer, my personal account, and then my two TFFs down here. Yeah, so it's pretty solid. I mean, it's just free money for me basically because I'm already trading on one account. My copier just copies everything my other accounts do. So it's not really, I'm not doing any extra work here. I'm just adding it to my copier. Uh, so yeah, that's why I'm doing it, because I don't have to do any extra work. I just add the funds to the other account, and then free money comes in every time I take a trade, basically. Free money also leaves the account if I lose a trade. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's not always one way. Sometimes you'll lose a trade and you're going to take a loss on that account. But when you win, it's basically just like free profit at that point. Nice. Yeah, Maddie said he plans to open a personal account later on as well. Yeah, eventually. There's no rush to open a personal account. I would just keep milking these funding companies while you can. I mean, I made a ton of money off these funding companies since 2020. So I've been with these funding companies, different funding companies from 2020 till now. And you guys see, like, they give you that extra leap if you need that big account, but you don't want to risk that big money. But all right, let me scroll up real quick. Let's see. Marcin said he doesn't have access to the trading journal section on Discord. Marcin, make sure that you click. So go to the Discord right here. This is probably something I'm going to have to add to the FAQs because a lot of people get mixed up with this. If you've never used Discord before, click on this button right here, Marcin, and click show all channels. So it's probably unchecked on yours like that. So this is probably what yours looks like, right? You're like, oh, you don't have everything on there. But if you go over here and you click on show, because I don't have them on here either. But if you go over here and you click on show all channels, you'll see the trading journal down below, and that should fix it. So I'll probably make a video for that too, Marcin, because you're like the third person that asked about that. You just got to make sure you go over here and click on show all channels. All right, so I think that's it for that right there. So the next question here would be the momentum counter scalp. So I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go step away and grab some water real quick, and I'll be back and cover the momentum scalp strategy, momentum counter scalp, and then momentum pullback scalp. So just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So perfect. Yeah, Marcin said magic. Thank you, Sean. It works. Yeah. So guys, if you guys are just joining the Discord, make sure that you go over here to the top, and I'll make a video for this, or I don't know, I'll make a tutorial or something. When you sign up, click on this drop down, click show all channels, and that's where you'll get all the channels on your side. And then Marcin. I mean, you're in here, so you're good. All right, so oh, I see you right there. Yeah, so you're good, Marcin. All right, I think that's it for that. If there's any other questions that you guys have right now, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to cover the momentum counter scalp strategy. So let's go back and let's take a look at the entry from yesterday. So let's look at the entry from Friday. All right, so for this specific strategy, I don't even know if I have the criteria here. Momentum, counter scalp. I'm gonna go ahead and just copy this over from here. Momentum. All right, momentum counter scalp. So basically, what I'd recommend is you either focus on the breakout or you focus on the momentum counter scalp, because this is going to confuse a lot of people because the requirements are different. So for the breakout V2, you don't have to look for the momentum after the opening candle. So right here is 6:30 a.m. So this is market open 6:30, right? For this momentum counter scalp, you're going to identify the momentum signal after market open. So everything before 6:30 right here doesn't matter. This is all irrelevant. You don't care about what happened before, you care about what's happening now. So basically, the strategy is exactly what it's called. It's the momentum counter scalp. You're looking for price to push in a direction, and then you're looking for it to push in a different direction, and then you're going to catch the counter move. So first you want to identify the first momentum signal after market open. So let's see, there was a pending signal there, pending signal there. All right, perfect. So you have a momentum signal right here, right? First, you want to identify the first momentum signal after 6:30. 6:30 is right here. This is the first momentum signal. It is a red sell signal, right? Now you want to identify two opposite candles back to back. So since we have a red signal right here, you're looking for two green candles after. So you need two green candles to follow it. You have one right there. This is the first candle. And there goes the second one, right? You have the momentum signal here, and you're looking for a counter direction. So you have red sell signal, two green candles right here. This is where your entry is going to happen. Long position right there. You're going to take this trade for 100 pips. So 10.25. You have that lined up right there. Looking at the notes here, no momentum on the entry candle. There's no momentum there, so you're fine. There's no entry if there's no opportunity on the first momentum signal. So if there's no entry that comes up right here, then like say, for example, you get a sell signal, then you get a buy signal, then the strategy is done for. You don't take any more entries from there. And then again, you're only going to take entries between 6:30 and 7. So 6:30 is right here and 7 o'clock is right here. Everything lines up, right? You have the momentum signal here. You have the two opposite candles. There's no momentum on the entry. This is the first entry, and it's between 6:30 and 7. You have everything lined up right there. You take the trade runs in profit, and it goes straight to TP right there, blast right straight to TP. So there goes an example of the momentum counter scalp. If you guys have any other questions regarding this, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to the next example. So we have one example here. Let's go to Thursday, the day before. And it's a pretty simple strategy. But again, like I mentioned, this strategy can be very confusing if you're going to mix it up with the breakout. So you should probably choose this one or the breakout. Two of them is probably just going to be, you're going to go over your head if you do that. All right, so this one was a little tricky, or actually, no, it wasn't. Let me see if I could show you guys. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit. This is 6:30, right? 6:30 right here. And 7 o'clock is right here. So basically, you're looking for a momentum signal to come up first. That's going to be step one. All right, we have a sell signal right here, right? That's going to be step one. Identify momentum signal after 6:30. Once you have that, now you need to find two green candles to follow. Yeah, one red candle right there. One green candle. You need another green candle. Okay, two green candles right there, right? Same setup as the following day. So you got a momentum signal right here. You have two green candles. You're going to enter this for 100 pips. Right there. You go for 100 pips. 10.25. You got everything lined up there. Going over the notes. No momentum on entry candle. Right there. no entry if no opportunity on the first momentum signal. There's no, I mean, this is the first entry, so it lines up with criteria, and then it's between 6:30 and 7. Yeah, everything lined up at that point. Trade runs, full TP on the first candle right there. So super simple. And I mean, it kind of just plays through. It's not that difficult, right? Let's see. CJ said, I was going to ask you if you apply the breakout and counter scalp. You just answered my question. So you can apply both, CJ. I mean, if you look at the entries here, the problem with this is that if you're looking at two entries, your focus is going to be on one or the other, right? So you might, the problem with your focus being on two strategies is that you can screw up on one or the other, or screw up on both of them. So for my preference, I would just go for the breakout V2 because it's a one-to-one strategy. So there's no negative risk reward here. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. It's going to happen no matter what. With this strategy over here, this can be avoided, right? There's going to be trades that don't come up on some days. Because if it doesn't happen between 6:30 and 7, there's not going to be entry. So for me personally, I would go with the breakout V2. Moving forward, my main focus is going to be the breakout V2 because one loss on this account is going to be, or one loss on this strategy is going to be the same as this loss, but one win on here is not going to be the same as a win on here because this is a negative risk reward. It's 100 pips. This is more of a quick scalp type strategy. Another reason why I don't like the strategy personally is because Kit mentioned this the other day when I was applying it. He said that this strategy goes against what I typically trade because I typically trade in the direction of the trend. The problem with this strategy here is that you can go against the trend sometimes. So, you know, if you go against the trend, you're kind of like, you'll have opposite entries, right? So like say, for example, we have the trend over here. I mean, the trend actually doesn't matter on here either, but at least for this one, you're kind of going for a specific direction versus this one here where you can go opposite of the trend. So there's just there are two different strategies, but they're both great strategies. So with the momentum counter scalp, you can see it's an 83.33% win rate. So you can have a negative risk reward here because the win rate's so high. The breakout V2, the win rate's not as high, but the balance between TP, you know, the risk reward is more, it balances itself out. As long as you have above a 50% win rate, this strategy is going to make you profit no matter what long term. So that's why the strategy here is more lucrative in my opinion, but you can apply both. So like, for example, like today, CJ, if you took the trade here, you would have won for the V2. You would have lost for the momentum counter scalp. On Friday, you would have taken it here. You would have won here for the V2. And if you took it on the 8th, you would have won here too. So you would have double profits. Sort of, you have two wins. So I mean, it's just up to preference, but for me personally, you guys know how I trade. I don't like taking risky trades. So for me, I'd rather just one and done it with this V2 here, if possible. If not, obviously I'll look for the backup trade, which would be the counter scalp here. Let's see. Yeah, William said it's a very straightforward method, but don't screw up and take it as I did in the EM with low ATR. Yeah, so that's like one thing that I might have to add to the criteria, William. I know it's kind of hard because it's not part of the requirements, but you know, I try to warn you guys, if the ATR is too low and the volatility is too low, the problem with that, like for example, so this is kind of what William got caught in today, unfortunately. Sometimes if the volatility is low, you're going to get a lot of back and forth movement, right? And then what happens when this back and forth movement, when it's done, right? When this back and forth movement is done, it's either going to blast to the upside or it's going to break out to the downside. So you kind of flipping a coin at that point, right? You're either going to get lucky and it's going to cheat your TP, or you're going to get very unlucky and it's going to go towards your stop loss. So you don't want to trade when price is moving sideways like this. It's just not a good time to trade. Yeah, exactly. William said the red flag was looking at me in the face and I made a poor judgment call. And it happens, William. You know, sometimes you have to take losses like that to be able to not make that mistake in the future. So take that mistake and then use it as a, use it as a learning experience. So in the future, you're like, okay, I got burned that one time. I took it when it was low ETR. So in the future, maybe I'll just not take that low ETR trade. I'll watch it. So the good thing about these trades, William, is that you can watch them, right? Because I'm still going to mark them up for you. So you can watch them and then you can see them hit TP. So you're like, okay, at least it hit TP and the strategy played out, but I was smart about it and I just didn't take it, right? And if you don't get FOMO by doing that, that's how you'll know that your trade psychology is really working, where it's improving. Because I think FOMO is like everyone's worst enemy when they trade. FOMO and just, just like revenge trading a lot of times. Like I've seen a lot, like today, a lot of people took, or not a lot of people, there's maybe like 2 people who took the breakout V2, but they took it way after it passed. So for example, or I can't pull it back because we're on a different day, but if you take it like too late and you miss the trade, you can end up with either a small profit or even a loss if price ends up reversing on you. All right, Marcin, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. CJ said, yeah, we trade to win in these parts. Yeah, exactly, CJ. You just have to be very choosy with which trades you decide to take. I mean, you can take every single trade of using all of my strategies, and you can probably make a ton of profit in one day, but there's going to be some days where those strategies are just not going to hit. So quality over quantity for sure. All right, so if there's any more questions regarding the momentum counter scalp, guys, feel free to pop in the chat. If there's nothing else here, then we'll cover the last strategy, which is going to be the momentum pullback scalp, and that's going to be it for today. So if there's any questions, guys, put them in the chat now. Just as a reminder, I'm not going to be having these mentoring sessions every week anymore. They're going to be like maybe every other week or once a month. So when we have these, make sure that you ask your questions. I'll still answer questions during the live sessions at the end. But, if there's anything specific, this is your time to ask, because I'm going to go over stuff like as detailed as possible. I can't go this deep into detail during the live sessions because we're trading. But this time is this is your time to shine, basically, if there's anything specific that you guys need help with. So last strategy over here is going to be the momentum pullback scalp. I'm going to use the main chart over here. I'll see if there's any entries here that I can see. That came up. Let me check the ATR. The ATR was pretty much low all day today, so I don't think there's going to be any entries for today. So let's go back to like a day where the ATR was like pretty decent. Actually, there was an entry right here. So it looks like there was an entry. Let me see. Price pulled back right here. Actually, there's no entry there. The volatility died down at that time. Let's go back to Friday. I mean, the ATR has been kind of low for the past week or two. I think the ATR is just low pretty much all day on Friday too. I can't remember the last time we applied this. Let's see, price pressure. Okay, open. Let's go to Thursday. I'm looking down at the ATR, guys. If you guys don't know what I'm looking at, I'm looking at this down here. So if you guys are wondering what I'm looking at this number down here, the ATR. It needs to be above 15 or above for us to take the entry. The volatility has just been kind of dead though lately, so there hasn't been very many momentum pullback scalps. That's kind of what pushed me towards taking the breakout, because the breakout happens every day. All right, there was one right here. I think this is the last one that happened on Thursday. Let me just clean this up a little bit. High low is not necessary. Okay, so let me put the criteria up here for the momentum pullback scalp. All right, so first you want to identify the direction of momentum using the momentum indicator. You can see right here that we have a buy signal, right? That's going to be step one. Step two, you want to confirm that the trend is matching the direction using the pivots. So you want to make sure that price is bullish here with regard to the pivots. In order to do that, you want to see where price is. You can see price is above the pivots. And then also you want to confirm that the pivots are angling upwards. One thing to look at is to make sure that the red pivot is below all the other pivots. That's going to confirm that it's bullish. If the red pivot is above all the other pivots, this is going to confirm that the pivots are bearish. And it's pretty much going to line up with the trend meter most of the time. So Step 1, identify direction of momentum. We have a buy signal right here. Step 2, identify or confirm that the trend is matching the direction with the pivots. You can see prices above the pivots are angling up, and the red pivots below all the other pivots. For step 3, you want to confirm that the trend is matching using the trend meter. You can see down below the trend meter is green. Step 4, you want to confirm a directional push in that direction. So you can see right here, these 3 green candles pushing to the upside, right? So that's going to be step 4 right there. For step 5, you want to confirm a pullback in the opposite direction. This red candle right here is going to be the pullback. Step 6, you want to confirm the pullback does not close past the momentum signal. The momentum signal is way down here, so it doesn't pull back that far. And lastly, you want to enter at the nearest whole number. So this candle right here pulled back to 34,470. Your entry could have been in 2 different places, so it's just up to preference here. It could have been at 34,470, which is like literally right there, or it could have been below at 34,460. It just depends on like what you're feeling at that time. I mean, that's one of the problems with this strategy, is that it's kind of hard to tell, because this candle looks like, you know, this would be a perfect time to enter right there, right? At 34,470. But if you're looking at this real time, this is moving so fast that you probably don't have the opportunity to enter right there. You probably have to enter down here. So, I mean, depending on where your entry's at, either way, your entry would happen at one of those points. It's going to be at 1025. Once you have this setup right here, you move 1 candle forward. You can see this candle right here literally comes down, fills the order, and blasts straight to TP. So this is an example of the momentum pullback scalp strategy. If there's any questions regarding this, guys, feel free to let me know, and I can clear up any confusion there. But if not, I'll go back and look for another entry, or I'll see if there's another entry here. Also, so one of the main things that I was just referring to earlier was the ATR. It says ATR must be 15 or above. You can see the ATR down here is 22. So it's way above 15, fits criteria perfectly. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for that one right there. Let's see if we could find another one. Let's go back to Wednesday, the day before. It's just hard because the volatility is so low in the summer that you don't really find too many entries, but let's see if we could find one over here. We'll clean this up a little bit. All right, so market was open right here. Price pushed up, price pushed up. All right, so here goes another opportunity right here. Let's go back to this candle. I might take that back. The ATR is currently 10, so this wouldn't be an entry. I mean, technically the entry could have happened right here. Entry would happen at the 80 mark. But again, the ATR is too low. Just can't really mess with it, unfortunately. But if you could, it would have been right there. So entry would have filled right there, and it would have pushed up, and it would have hit TP right there. But again, you would skip that because the ATR is too low. You'd be holding on to the position for too long. Let me see if there's another one here. ATR is pretty much low this entire day, I think. Okay, it picked up right here actually. So let's see, price came down, retraced right there. Okay, I think this is where the entry could have happened. Okay, so same thing right here. Identify direction of momentum. We have a sell signal right here. Identify that the trend is matching using the pivots. You can see prices below the pivots, and the pivots are angling down. Step 3, confirm the trend is matching using the trend meter. Trend meter down below is red right there. So everything lines up, right? Bearish trend with regard to the pivots, bearish trend with regard to the trend meter, red sell momentum right there. Now you're looking for a push in the direction of momentum. There's a drop right there. You're confirming the pullback. This green candle right here is the pullback. Your entry is going to happen at the nearest whole number. So nearest whole number is right here at the 60. And you're going to be waiting with a pending short position right there. 1025, yeah, everything lined up. You can see how price kind of pushes up right there. So it looks like it pushes up and fills it right there. And now you'd be in the position, it probably would hit your TP right away, but if it doesn't, looks like this next candle right here blasts right through, and that would have been a solid entry. So looking over here, everything lines up because the ATR lines up, right? Again, this is one of the key things to look at during the summer season is the ATR. So you want there to be volatility. So ATR must be 15 or above. Looking down below here, ATR is currently at 18, so everything lines up. It's perfect. So it lines up with all the entries there, pretty much aligned. So if there's any other questions regarding this, guys, feel free to let me know. Again, this is another simple strategy. You just have to confirm a lot of things here, but once you have an idea of what to look for, it'll be pretty smooth. So this is the official strategy that we're applying. We're basically applying two official strategies now. This one and the breakout V2. Those are basically the two main strategies we're applying. Other than that, that's pretty much it because we're using everything time-based. We're basically taking the breakout. So we're taking the breakout V2 between 6:30 and 7. It's usually going to happen between that time. And then after that, we'll look for some momentum pullback scalps if the criteria lines up, if the ATR is fast enough. If not, then we're just going to skip it for the most part. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I pretty much covered everything that we planned to cover today. We've been on this mentoring session for about an hour and a half. So if there's anything else that you guys want me to cover, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up and we'll come back tomorrow to apply this live. But as of now, I think that is pretty much it. So yeah, guys, if you guys join the Discord, make sure to go into the introductions and just introduce yourself if you haven't. This is going to be the best way for you to really to link up with everybody else in the group, right? Because the thing is, like, the more active you are in the group, the better this group will serve you. Because the more that you participate, the more that people will see you more often and the more help you can get. So if you need help with anything, people will help you because you look familiar. A lot of people here don't like to help people who they think might be scamming them. So just, keep that in mind. All right. Oh man, Will said this was good. Been in traffic, seen the AM. Yeah, hopefully you get out of that traffic soon, William. I'm assuming you're in some rush hour right now. It's rush hour time, 3 p.m. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, if you guys are new here and you guys want access to all these strategies that we covered, go to our website, kodikaitrades.com. Click on unlock your free access right here. Once you get that, you'll get access to the course. This is what the course looks like. If you guys want access to the Zoom, to the Discord, once you sign up to this right here, you'll get an email follow-up and you'll get a welcome page on open. And then that will give you the link to the Discord so that you guys can join here. You guys can find everything. But other than that, I think that's about it. So